I'm still some time away from the actual build. I'm still working on the prototype, but I'm going to have to glue up the curved back. I know that. So I'm doing this in advance. So this is a prequel. And there's our back stays curved. Just wrapped them around that form right there. Glued them. And when they dry, they'll be curved. Let me show you on the prototype. These are the back stays on the prototype. You can see how they're just bent wood. Bent it around that form. Well, let me finish this prototype so we can get started. Well, the prototype isn't finished yet, but I did make another decision, and that is I'm going to have a solid oak top. And what makes this glue up sort of interesting is that I'm using double biscuits. I'll have a total of 12. I have a total of 12 biscuits in the glue up. You can see the double grooves. I got it clamped up. It's I only put 3 clamps on it. It'll be strong. Well, good morning. Welcome to another Memphis Monday 99. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was lamenting that I got to come up with a meaningful project every single week, like clockwork. And he said, well, you could build me a shop stool with a back on it. And he showed me his a shop stool that was 22 inches tall, but didn't have back on it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make his dreams come true and build him a shop stool out of oak. But we're not going to get anything built unless we do what? Knock off the chatter and get to work. Here's a prototype. It'll be a cross. The legs will be a cross, like a kind of a standard formation here. It's going to be made out of. This is a prototype. It's kind of rough just to show the structure of it. It's going to be made out of oak. It'll be held together with 3 carriage bolts on each side. The back slats back here are curved. You saw me making those, and it's looks like it's going to be a pretty fun project. Okay, let's work on the first part, which is this this member right here that comes up straight, and then right here at the seat it bends back to get the correct rake on the seat. So let's get to work on that. Worked on this prototype diligently until I got it just the way I want it, taking it apart, putting it back together, changing stuff. So I got it just the way I want it. So I'm copying the angles and everything directly off the prototype. I got the right frame pieces mocked up against the prototype. What I'll do is I'm going to build this right side just the way I want it, and then I'll copy it to the other side in a mirror image. Here's a prototype. You can see how it's put together. Notably, you can see this spacer right in here. That places that board out to where it lines up exactly with this one over here. And it's held together with a carriage bolt at all three positions. Okay, then on our project today, I got that same configuration mocked up here. I got the spacer in there. I've got the seat brace here. It's level, and so is the workbench. And so this will be my assembly jig for this right leg assembly. One of the reasons I like prototypes is there's not as much stress involved. With a prototype, you can just shoot this thing together with brads or whatever else you want to do. Then I'll just tighten this down. I've got it marked on the other side so I can tell if anything moved. Okay, I got that first bolt in. Now check my reference lines, and see here that this thing is no longer in square. I need to move this thing. Okay, there's the bubble. Let's put in bolt number 2, and then I'll show you the bubble after we put the bolt in, see if it's moved any. Okay, we got the second bolt here in, and it's still rock solid right in the center. Let's put our last bolt in right over here. The prototype over there is kind of looking like an orphan, but I got those bolts in, and so what I did is I took the pieces for the other side and mocked them up and put the screws in, bolts in there. Let me show you what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now is putting in the cross braces, and I'm using 1.5 inch stainless steel square head screws. I was going to use decorative screws, but I don't, or decorative washers, but I don't have any. Used them all up, I guess. Well, I found those decorative washers, so I went ahead and put them in. I think they look better, don't you? I think what I'm going to do is take this thing down and sit on it once before I take it all apart. Well, this seat doesn't exactly fit, but I can sit on it, see if it falls down. Is that back going to be right? I think so. All right, let's take it apart so we can do some final assembly. Well, change of plans. I wasn't going to do the seat in the back until I got it assembled, but what I'm going to do is I already put the back on there, and now I'm fitting the seat to the seat frame, and once I get the seat finished, then I'll take it all apart and for the doing the finish work. The seat, this is the prototype seat. It has 2 slots in it that will slot into the back, and that slot has an angle back here in the back, so it'll come up flush against this angled seat. That's what I'm doing now. Best way to get that slot or that angle cut is to cut it with a dovetail saw and then chip the rest out with a chisel. And I don't know exactly what that angle is, but I know it starts at the high point back here, and then it goes 7/16 of an inch down this way. So if I cut within those parameters, it should work. Now the seat fits nice and tight around there. So now I'm going to take the seat off and put this curve around the front of it. I got it all tore apart. I kept the leg assemblies segregated so that I'd know where to do the finish work. And I got the seat sanded down and rounded over. So all we got to do now is do this finish work, and we're in the home stretch. Rounded over the edges and did some sanding. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some finish on it. You can imagine how difficult this would be with the assembled chair, and it would look like sin too. This is cherry stain. I'm putting it on, leaving it on for about a half an hour. And this is the color I get. Zoom in on that color. Yeah, I got the stain on all the pieces, and I put a coat of spar varnish on them, and I'm going to let them dry at least enough where I can work with them, and then we'll put this thing together. Now what I'm finishing this in is stuff called spar urethane. It resists sunlight, rain, moisture, temperature changes. It's really the stuff you need to use if you're if whatever you're making is going to be outside. Polyurethane doesn't work in sunlight. So what I'm doing here is just putting it all back together. Theory is I made my holes just the right size, so when I put these bolts back in, everything should line back up again. So let me finish putting this thing back together, and we'll see how we've done. And there are the holes. I can just go over here and see if they line up. Does that look like it lines up to you? Well, the reason it wouldn't line up, my theory anyway, is that I had the wrong board. Just to be careful, let me put the other side in, see if I can get that one to line up. Okay, I've got to put the seat on before I put this cross brace in, because that cross brace will be in the way. I'm going to hold the cross brace in, or the seat in, with these pocket screws. Well, there it is, our little camp stool / shop stool. Pretty nice detail work. 100% oak with spar urethane. Backrest, super strong, and used as a camp stool and a shop stool. That does it for another Memphis Monday. Looks like our camp stool, shop stool combination, 100% oak. It turned out okay, and so I don't know, pretty interesting project. I haven't seen anything like it on the internet, but I'm quite sure someone else has invented it. But I'm going to keep looking. So thanks for playing along today. I'd appreciate it if you'd like and favorite and Facebook and comment and all that other stuff you do on the internet. And I guess that's it. Nope, one more thing. Make sure you're back here next week for not just an exciting Memphis Monday, but Memphis Monday 100. Can you believe it? So thanks for playing along.